We're here today to talk about real estate.
Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. My name's Steinmetz.
Bryan Schube.
I'm Kari Steele.
Bill Jones.
And we're the Jones Home Team.
And this is episode 28 of the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. And we've got some exciting stuff. Bryan, you got a big shakeup in the real estate licensing. Is that just in Ohio or nationwide?
I believe it's just Ohio.
Okay, I can remember. I haven't had a chance to read through a lot of this yet. Kari's here. You guys had some mobile home, manufactured home stuff, some facts, figures, updates maybe with that. And then we're diving right into all the big regulatory, changes as far as for acquisitions, buyouts, going in the real estate industry. So the market gets crazy, so everybody wants to talk about buying each other up, or merging. So, Schube, what you got here? You don't need a license to practice real estate anymore?
No, just wanted to kind of talk. So House Bill 238, which is an occupational license reform bill, which was signed by Governor DeWine back on January 8th, and then it takes effect 90 days from that date. So I believe that is April 9th of 25. So here coming up.
Oh, it's coming right up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so within the next month or so here. So pretty much the Ohio Realtors played a key role in advocating for a lot of these things on this bill, and there was more than just these three items, but this just involves the real estate side then. So couple of the big things here was removing barriers for brokers. So prior to, in order to become a broker, even sit for the test, you had to have 2 years of higher education. So, your associate's degree in some nature. They have since removed that. So now all you need to do is complete those post-secondary education courses and pass your test then. So you no longer need to have that associate's degree to get your broker's license.
So like going through like a Hondros program kind
of
thing?
Or
like
that or a Terra or wherever,
right.
Heidelberg, or, you don't need those required classes then. So I think it's four classes now that are required, and they're 30 hours a piece then. And then you can sit for your test.
That's cool. That's
it blows
a lot
my mind, though.
Different than what it was, for sure.
I feel like reducing the educational requirements opens up the potential for just anybody to go running around all willy-nilly if they're not taking it seriously.
I know one of the other things I believe that was in here is you did have to be a real estate agent for at least 2 years prior to. So
I would hope so.
I don't remember all the requirements, but it's a minimum of 2 years in a business, so many transactions. It was like 40 full transactions, so like both sides. Or it could be 80 if you did, I think, on either side. Then you had to have not only a 2-year degree minimum, but it had to have been something relevant to the real estate industry, some type of business, or you couldn't have 2 years in basket weaving and turn that into real estate. You still have to take classes, and also the specific classes then,
That's
like
wild.
you take for real estate. So yeah, I'm with you, Kari. I don't know that
I feel like 10 years is like, with every industry there's a learning curve, and I feel like 2 years is very minimal, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're always learning, things are always changing. But I guess
sure. And then when you take it to that, like when you're the broker, then you're responsible for everything then too. So if you're lowering that threshold, then any agent that's doing it, I think every agent probably should work towards that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you can then just 2 years in, do the minimum amount of stuff, and then go open up your own brokerage, okay, great. But then you're responsible for everything that happens. So if a real estate agent, something goes south or someone's getting in trouble, the broker should get involved and have to, solve that. So if they do that, it's I don't know. It's kind of open.
I'm all for graduateoflife.com. Like there's people that are super educated that didn't step foot in a classroom, but I also feel like, there should be some protection against the quality of the education that real estate agents are getting. And to be honest, even if you do go through those classes, you still have that ethics to, uphold. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're responsible for everything then. All the earnest money, all the contracts, all the, if someone's getting sued, it's that broker. It's not the agent necessarily then too. So, I don't know. That's they're doing it for agents as well, right?
Yeah,
that was one of the other ones on here.
Jumping ahead here.
They're dropping the pre-licensing for real estate agents or for salespeople by 20 hours, so a $20 reduction. I think it was 120 hours, which is now brings it down to 100 hours of pre-licensing education before you can sit for your test then. So.
Yeah. I guess that one is...
How much of that do you
think
is stuff that's not very relevant?
Yeah, and that you're actually going to learn on the job. So that one, I guess, I can and can't understand. That one I can understand because you're just sitting there and it's required. So they say, oh, you have, 2 minutes, 10 minutes to go to the bathroom, and then you have to come right back and sign in. Or if you go out and make a phone call, those hours are captured in this way. It's not as strict.
Which is crazy too. With the reduction, Ohio still has the most pre-licensing education required of any surrounding state then as well.
Really?
So even with that 20-hour reduction, we're still the highest out of all the states around us then too. So
your real estate license and practice real estate.
So I guess I have two thoughts with that then too. So yeah, one, like you're saying, Kari, I think if they buttoned up the training or the learning to it then too, to focus on that 100 hours is probably fine. But it seems like if they're just lowering the threshold, must means they need more agents to get licensed is probably what they're doing. I don't know why they would make it easier.
Or maybe they're just realizing that they were a little too high above what everyone else is requiring, and there's other states that are doing just as well without
I mean, it's one of those too. I mean, I think we all kind of experienced it when we got in. A lot of the stuff that they taught us, it was pertinent, but it was nothing like what the actual industry is. Is I guess. So maybe they're trying to throw a lot of that in office training back to the brokers or to the offices to try to figure out, hey, this is actually, we can teach you everything, as far as the books go, but this is actually how it works. So maybe they're trying to throw a lot of that education back onto the brokers to, hey, this is actually
the
what
brokers
you
that now need less
training,
now need less schooling,
training.
are going to train more than too. So that makes good sense. That was going to be, I guess, my second point with that too, is how often have we talked about that? You go to real estate school to learn what's on the test, what you need to do to pass the test. After that, nobody
tells you
all that stuff away. I mean, don't throw it away. You need to know it, but it's nothing that has to do with the actual real estate industry. Actually helping someone buy and sell a house. Contracts, negotiation, marketing. All the things that none of that is taught in school. Not school I went to, anyways. So
well, and that's why I feel like continued education is so much more important than just taking the test. You take the test to pass to get your license, but from there, the education that you receive immediately and ongoing as an agent. I mean, I've been doing it for years. You've been doing it for years. Like, I feel like every day there's something new that can be learned. Right. So, I don't know.
So the School of Hard Knocks, that's one I like. Yeah, you can learn a lot there.
And then the last one here, the law that had a provision that removed the requirement for real estate schools to offer college credits, a change that will allow more institutions to provide pre-licensing education. Ohio's cost of pre-licensing education was the most expensive in the nation, yet the results of the real estate exam were no better than in our surrounding states. So
they're also lowering the standards of the school?
That's the way
I understand that?
Yeah, it sounds like they're not requiring the schools to offer college credits. So if whatever education center it is, if you just take the courses through there and you don't offer the college credits, then you can issue or those pre-licensing courses.
I'm opening up a school then, right? If I don't have to offer college credits, we can do that. All right.
Well, South Harmon Institute of Technology.
Right. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, and nothing we can do about it here. But I just don't know that lowering the standards everywhere is going to help anything. I don't think that's not going to help the professionalism or the knowledge that an agent or broker is going to have at this point. But
everybody's going to be an agent,
right? I think everybody already is, aren't they? Yeah.
Go on Reddit, you'll learn.
Cool. What else? What other shocking revelations? I think
out of the bill, that was pretty much all the major items here that involved the real estate side of it, anyway. So
okay. Well, not that they care, but I don't know that I agree with that. It's nothing that's. I think, again, just to reiterate, going to help the industry, I don't think, to where, but again, I guess it goes back to you guys' point. How much of that is actually real world stuff? Almost none of it. It's, how many square feet are in an acre and how many, there's just not a whole lot that's going to affect your real life. It's just getting out there and actually doing the job. It's going to be a real learning then. And again, hopefully they have a broker that's going to work with them or a team they can work with that's going to educate them. So.
Well, that's it. They can go get their license, but they still need to be under a brokerage. So are they just going to get it just so they can buy their 1 or 2 houses in their lifetime? Or are they getting it because they want to be a full-time agent? Are they teachers that are just doing it in the summertime? So those are all things.
Right. Cool. All right. Well, we'll move on here. What you guys got? Mobile home. I got some slides, I think, to pull up here for you then, too. We'll get right into that. So, if you're watching, you can see this, hopefully.
Mobile homes, do they decrease in value? Because that's something people have been looking at for a long time. Is we've heard through a lot of elders and also channels that don't get a mobile home because they depreciate in value. But it's becoming less that they're depreciating in value, especially if they're tied to land. So the map shows, which I'll let Sierra talk a little bit about this, what the average is. And
so it's the average number of mobile homes. Is that what that is then? Okay. So, so the darker red, the more.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know where you wanted me to pick up on that. No, I saw where you were, but I didn't know where you wanted me to go with that.
I mean that the average, the United States average of people living in mobile homes is 6%. So if you look at the map, it's very common to have more mobile homes in the South. I think probably because of the cost of utilities might be a little less down there. They can sustain. I mean,
I'm thinking the winters and things like that are as hard.
Correct.
I know here that's a problem further going. Yeah,
you
can
look at the
definitely see that
northern
going further
states.
north. It's less and less.
Yeah.
But you got a lot more. I guess I don't know, hurricane. I don't follow that stuff that way. But you got a lot more weather.
Yeah,
there, right?
You do get a lot more weather, and that's one thing. Like I wondered. I'm kind of jumping ahead in my talks about safety, which I was kind of piggybacking off of Sierra. But I wonder too when they're talking about these mobile homes if HUD and FEMA aren't included in this, because if you look at the southern states, if there is a massive hurricane, tornadoes are wiping things out, mobile homes are going to be a replacement for stick or standard homes for however long, a year, 2 years.
Yeah, I feel like you can get that up and running
statistically,
a lot faster,
are
probably.
they increasing in value because they're using mobile homes more for FEMA and reproduction for homes for people that don't
homes
have
that have been lost then? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Because if so, then that would drive the South up, obviously, because they're more susceptible to hurricanes and especially Tornado Alley right through there in your Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas, northern Texas areas, Mississippi. But then,
so all these areas that are prone to terrible weather.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I wonder if, the cost of manufacturing, they're not increasing because buyouts from the government, not like this last one in Asheville. Yes, I know we follow, but in most cases, are they dropping 10,000 mobile homes after a disaster to house families temporarily or
That could be,
otherwise?
I'm not sure. That's
or your insurance pays out $100 and the cost to rebuild's $330. Well, I can get a mobile home, but I can't replace my house, or I can't replace my house right away. 2 years, 3 years, however long it's taken you to build your house. You'd be temporarily housing.
Plus, I mean, all those builders and contractors would be backed up, and
right.
There's only so many people who can build that amount of homes that they probably would need. So
yeah.
Where I would go is right here. The guys talking about safety. Then with that too, I'm just looking at the notes. That would be my wife Kelly, I guess myself included, but I don't think she'd ever move into a house that didn't have a basement.
Especially around here. I mean,
well, she could get a storm shelter, Bill.
She could.
76 tornadoes.
I can, babe. Okay, it's horrible outside. Run outside to that storm shelter. Crawl down in that hole. There ain't no way.
Well, you just have to put it right out the steps to get in.
Not happening.
Kelly, you're getting a new storm shelter.
Yeah, so we'll put one in just to be sure. Then, I guess you could. So. I don't know. I mean, what other safety?
I actually sold a mobile home. Now that we're thinking about that, I had sold a whole mobile home up in like Gibsonburg, Helena area several years back, and they had it was just a mobile home, but then over by the barn they had an actual in-ground storm shelter, which
really?
I think it was in like very poor condition, and the appraiser noted it, so we literally just went out there and filled it in.
Oh my Lord! So, yeah. Well, because then like some of the mobile home parks, I'm just thinking about this now, like Clinton, like they have a whole storm shelter area,
and they're tethered, like anchored, like the houses are anchored to the block or to the slab. So that's another thing too to help protect against. I mean, we had Southern Ohio had 80-mile-an-hour winds, but we just had some 50 and 60-mile-an-hour gusts this last weekend. So even that alone, I mean.
Yeah, and I think there's certainly, you might be covering some of this stuff too. I'm not trying to jump all over the place, but
I
know there's certain standards and stuff too, I think, for different areas of the homes are going to be built in. So like here, I'm not going to pretend like I know what they are, but like the different build levels have to accommodate the area they're going to. So probably down in the South, I'm sure it needs to be built much different or maybe sturdier to be able to survive a hurricane. They're not worried about hurricanes up in Ohio. So I don't know. But we got tornadoes, we got cold, so maybe they need to be more insulated up here versus down there.
I know when I had just sold one out at Clinton Mobile Home Park, the seller had mentioned that they use like a heat wrap to wrap the plumbing and stuff in the basement. I think that had to be done, I want to say he said every year or something like that.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I would assume that's part of it.
That's good to know.
There's so many rules and things, and again, I'm not trying to jump all over but like rules that are for financing of these, like certain year, I don't remember them off the top of my head. I don't know, not to put you guys on the spot if you do either. Then as far as like certain years can be financed, some can't. Some were considered, what do you say, Kara, at some point?
Mobile to manufactured.
Mobile to manufactured. There was at a different time frame then too. So we could talk all day about.
Well, if somebody's interested in buying one, they would just have to get with their lender and give them the year and then figure out whether or not that would qualify for financing.
Right.
And then also depending upon what other barns, buildings, et cetera, are on the land.
What would
could
apply to
qualify
that?
Or not, yeah.
So then the next mystery is then finding that information out then. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all been there. Okay, so where do you find that data plate then? So, yeah, Bryan, you've had to go crawl
Underneath.
under them, and
Yeah.
I've had to do the same thing.
HUD plate, is that what they're called?
Where did you find that one? It was like etched into the...
That was etched into the actual trailer of the bottom of the mobile home.
Like the
then.
frame,
So like
yeah.
the frame.
I would have loved to see that happen.
That'd have been
This guy goes above and beyond.
Should
Right,
work
right.
Or
GoPro
below
under
and
there.
beyond.
So let's say going back to the training and schooling you get then too. Do they teach that, how to crawl underneath a trailer,
I don't think
kind
they
of
know
army
that,
crawl
no.
the whole way underneath there to figure out where that's at?
I don't think they mentioned the fact
The
that
whole
you were gonna
time I
need
was
to
just like
find
waiting
that.
on the thing to fall.
Yeah. So in that 20 hours are cutting out, they probably could have addressed that then, but they're not. So you had a couple other slides and stuff, Karen. I don't know if there's anything we need to jump through then too. You had
Yeah, average sale price. So I just went back. So the highlighted green column, the neon green that I highlighted, that goes all the way back 10 years. So you can look down at what the cost of purchasing just a single trailer would be. And I say trailer because around here people call them trailers. They've also been referred to as mobile homes and more recently manufactured. But the difference in 10 years is $47,000. And that
holy cow.
so it's increased in value, or not increased in value. The price to purchase one went $47,000
And then up to
increase. It increased $47,000 up to 90.
And you said in 10
Single
years?
wide mobile home. One trailer is $90,000. Does that blow your mind?
and that's not
A
even
freaking trailer, $90,000.
and that's not
Like,
land or like if you're going
No.
to put it somewhere, land and improvements, well, septic if you're doing
Yes.
standalone.
Yes.
Or if you put it
And-
somewhere else with lot rent. And
Yeah, and that's honestly, we go into talking about that, but I used Clayton Homes. That's one that's here local in Marion, Ohio, and I just used for Ohio. I don't have any one specific manufacturer, but Clayton Homes is just one that we've seen in our area, and they're pretty popular in the South, like Kentucky, Tennessee, places like that. You can get a really nice mobile home. If you took $90,000 and tried to purchase a house today, would you get a brand new home with a garden tub and bay windows and all of that stuff, porches, etc.? No, probably not.
No, you'd have a total fixer-upper.
You'd have a fixer-upper, which is the same way it was if you go back and look at the price 10 years ago. So this is still an option for people looking for suitable housing. Pros and cons, and again, I've got a whole laundry list of things, but they can still be affordable, especially if you pair them with land and everything. The value will go up, so you could probably take equity and improve the land
Sure.
that it's on. But the initial setup, the cost, delivery, some are free, but some have a mileage. You know, if they're delivering them, it's so many cents per mile. Like if you're
Like
delivering
Amazon
it.
Prime, you can get it in
Yeah,
2 days in.
Prime
So,
Day,
yeah,
6% back.
Yeah. If I
and
wait
then-
2 more days, I get a discount. Yeah.
Yep. Set to install, utility hookup if it's on raw land. So they're averaging like roughly $2,000 for setup and install, and then $6,500, $30,000 plus when you talk about if it's on septic, utility, water hookup. It depends where you're at. If
Yeah,
you're,
all the
if you're
improvements you
pulling
need
it
to
into
do.
a park, then you talk about lot rent, which I know you guys both have experience. You all have experience in with lot rent, and people think, oh, it's going to be so affordable because I can just buy this house for $20,000. But then the lot rent's $600 a month, and
Yeah.
you're paying utilities.
Yeah.
And it'll probably go up every year.
And it goes up every year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that's
statistically, it goes up every year.
so even I just quick math in my head, the double wide, same thing, looked like almost doubled in price.
Mm-hmm.
A couple different times are kind of up and down, but yeah, it's roughly doubled, which almost falls in line. We looked at the numbers, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, just traditional home prices, over 10 or 20
Yeah.
years have about doubled. So
It's wild.
that doesn't surprise
But
me.
a mobile, I mean, that just blows my mind.
Yeah. For what it costs.
$90,000. And then, yeah, people are driving down, down the road looking for homes. That's how I drive. Driving down the road looking for homes for sale, and they see a mobile home, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that would be so cheap. I bet I could pick that up for 30 or 40 grand." They're like, "145,000. What are they thinking?" Well, if it costs that before labor, before building a porch, before putting in the garage or the pole barn or the slab, they've easily got 145 into that or more. They might be losing money on it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, when you just consider the price of a vehicle, if you buy a new SUV, you're going to spend over $100,000 on any of the big ones. So, and that's a car.
It's crazy.
So you have actually a place to live. So
yeah, I could go on and on about this, but I don't know. It's still an option for people, and I think depending upon what you're looking for in the South, they're very, very common. You're paying a lot more in rent. You've got a lot more options. Those are
some
cute.
of these are really nice.
Yeah. But probably the one there in the middle is the most common around here.
Right.
I would say you get that on 2 acres of land with a pond and a pole barn.
Well, then usually the garage isn't part
attached,
of it. Then
right?
Well, it could be attached, but that's going to additional cost. I've had a couple people that built these, and then the driveway, the garage, anything else that's attached to the back porch, any of that stuff is not in that $100,000 to $140,000 price.
Right.
Over here then. So yeah, that in addition to everything you said with a lot of improvements. So well, cool. And there is a link to, I don't know if you're going to drop that in there, but especially since this is severe weather week awareness. I know we're 2 weeks out, so I guess it won't post, but even keeping in this spring tornado season, this week is severe weather week?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, not the people listening. The people listening,
us right now, we got to be careful.
Yes. It's awareness week. And so National Weather Service released a whole section on safety, especially around mobile and manufactured housing. So if you want to drop that link in there.
Yeah, we can include that in there. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, I'm not going to give this to my wife, Kelly, because I'd have to be building whatever they would recommend to keep us safe, I guess.
Well,
so
according to Schube, you're going to have a nice storm shelter.
Yeah, you can come help me dig it then. So
all right, you rent the excavator. I'll be there to dig.
All right, we good there?
Yeah.
All right, we'll move right into billion-dollar mergers, upheaval in the real estate industry. So we've lowered the standards. We learned about some housing. Now we're going to learn about all the real estate, I guess, how the sausage is made in the back end with real estate companies buying each other up. And it's not just like neighboring companies. We're talking nationwide or international mergers and acquisitions. So mergers between, again, none of this is done. It's all in work. Some of it's just rumors, but if you look on Inman News, I don't have it right in front of me here, but like every other article is about these different things. So the one is going to be Keller Williams they're not merging, but they're having a major infusion of capital, I guess, that's going to come in through, was it CoreLogic, I believe, is who's coming in for that. I'm sorry, Stone Point Capital is who's doing that, but that's the company that owns CoreLogic and Showing Time, I think, and Zillow, possibly. I don't know. They're into a bunch then. And then Redfin and Rocket Mortgage, again, are doing a big merger. Again, none of this has been done or whatever. And then there's a lot of rumors between Berkshire Hathaway being bought by Compass. So, again, big national or international companies working towards each, buying each other up or merging, something like that. So a lot of it's worrying about, regulatory, they're talking about regulatory improvements and things like that. But it all comes down to money at the end of the day.
It is money. They're trying to get their hands on each other's geographical area and reach.
Right.
And data and everything else.
Yeah, data and other things they're involved with then too. So yeah, some of the notes we have. So the big deal. So Keller Williams and private equity. A new investment from Stone Point Capital signals a major push for efficiency and innovation. The Redfin and Rocket merger, game-changing combination of brokerage and mortgage services aiming to streamline home buying. And then Compass and Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, supposedly $5 billion rumored. There's a whole lot of information out here for it to just be some rumor. They're all just like, no, it's rumors. It's not true. But there's a lot of specific numbers and things. So if true, this could create the industry giant with over 70,000 agents. Which there's plenty. Keller Williams has more agents. RE/MAX has more agents.
So let me ask you this. Yeah. If Rocket and Redfin, and if they do this merger, this is going to be like a monopoly. So how can they do that? How can they have one mass company that also employs their realtors, that also employs their brokerage
Yeah,
or their mortgage brokerage. Does that not seem like huge red flags?
Messy. Well, they also have a title company.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a one-stop shop for home buying, which is all
but
fun and great.
Zillow's been trying to do that for years.
I know.
Too, try to make the one portal where people can just go to and do it all. And if you look at all of these, they all have the same type of thing. I think I have a note or somewhere I saw what they have. Berkshire Hathaway has a ton of real estate companies, a home warranty company, a title company, a mortgage company, another lending company.
It just seems like it's just going to be a recipe for disaster.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lot.
It's one, Zillow has third-party agents. So, you call Zillow, ring, ring, ring.
Sure.
I want to go look at 123 Main Street. Any one of us answers the phone.
Right.
That's not Zillow's realtors. But
sure.
if they're truly employing their realtors and their title and their...
Which is what a lot of this
what's
is
to
going to
stop
be.
them, though, from once they acquire, I don't remember who was it, Bill?
It's like
Rocket
just
and
the parent
Redfin?
company.
Yeah, Redfin or whatever. I mean, what's to stop them from saying, "Hey, look, we got our own agents. See y'all later."
It's not.
Right.
It's not going to stop
Yeah,
them.
so if you the agent then too, if you're going to refer somebody to a lender, you know what I mean? Is Rocket going to be at the top of your list? Obviously we want our people to go to whoever's going to get the best deal and work out best for them. But if they're just going to do nothing but try to shovel their agents and their title company and their home warranty and
that's for the consumer,
Right,
though.
yeah.
Like, that's not what's best for your person.
They don't care. It's a money grab.
It is.
Yeah, that's exactly kind
That's
of what it is.
terrible.
And again, maybe it'll work out better. But I mean, Zillow's been trying to do it forever. I'm trying to think who else has. I mean, and Zillow's has been a real estate brokerage for years now. So they're a licensed real estate brokerage in, I think, every state.
Zillow is?
But they did that more to make sure they had the MLS feeds, because there's a big fight between the local MLSs saying, hey, why are us real estate agents supplying Zillow with the MLS feed? So we're giving them all the data for them to go out and market,
to use it. Yeah.
to generate leads and business to then turn around and sell to us agents. Like, why are we doing that? Because why they're doing it, so the agents are too, I guess lazy might be the wrong word, but can't figure out how to generate leads or business. So us dumb agents sit around here and say, I guess we'll just have Zillow do it. We'll pay them a premium to generate these leads.
I would say real estate is still a person to person, but if they're getting rid of that and it's all just data driven, what's the motivation to even have those relationships if they're just going to dump and you pay?
Right. Yep. But yeah, I think at the end of the day,
sense.
I mean, the best ones are the relationships you have, but so many of them are going to be that. So then the Redfin Rocket thing, Redfin's a discount brokerage. I think they only have like 2,000 agents total, like worldwide. So there's not that many agents. So I don't know that they have, I don't know if it's an agent count. I think, Bryan, you hit on it. It's more just a data. Redfin has a good search website. Like, I think it's a good experience for the consumer to get on there and look for homes. So I think Rocket's just looking for that platform and be able to find that data and then get those opportunities. So get those leads from people generating through there, and then try to sell them a mortgage, sell them on title, sell them on, homeowners insurance or whatever they can kind of go through. So
my head's just trying to wrap around, like we talked about appraisals and things before. If they're doing these data scrapes and they haven't been in the house, they're almost lopsiding the market unintentionally, because they're coming up with a value from a data scrape, both with Zillow and Redfin and all these others, but they physically haven't been in the house. So somebody who's uneducated buys a house for $63,000, thinking, or $163,000, thinking it's a good deal, but in reality, they just
Zillow
cost themselves $20,000.
Yeah.
And the agent doesn't know, because the agent just used the data available. Like, it's just
and if it's just an agent for that company, that's
spiraling.
Yeah. And again, real estate is local, so it goes to that. So if it's just some agent, I mean, we're in Northwest Ohio, so say someone in Southern Ohio, ring, here's your Redfin, Zillow, Rocket, combo agent that you're getting down there. Oh, yeah, Tiffin, Ohio, great. Yeah, I'm sure the numbers say 160. That's probably a great deal. Want me to send you the paperwork to put an offer in? To your point, sure. Yeah, I need a house. I'll sign that. To where if they had an agent locally, that's, that neighborhood's, on the increase, it's on the decrease, or I've been in that house. I know it's not worth that kind of money. You can get a lot better deal on that. So I don't know. I mean, there's money to be made for sure, but I think if you are a consumer, you want to make sure you get a good local agent that knows the market, not some big conglomerate of billion-dollar acquisitions that are going to be. And again, of course, that's self-serving for us to say. You know what I mean? That we're in that business where we want you to use somebody local. But if I'm buying a house somewhere, we talked about going to Florida or something like that, I'm not just going to go ring Zillow some agent. Do you know the neighborhood? Have you been in that house? Do you know anything about it? Do you know the HOA? Well, no, I've got data points here. Our Zillow numbers are great. I don't know why I'm picking on Zillow, but that's.
It's an easy one. It's right there.
It's like what we were just talking about the other week about how we've had out of town agents listing houses here, and the prices just don't make any sense.
Right.
And then you've got buyers that are like, oh, I'd love to see this. And then you get to the point of, okay, well, it's not worth what they've got it listed for. And I'm not going to, because I care about you, I don't want you to spend that amount on it unless that's exactly what you want to do. But like, we see it all the time already, and this is just on a whole other scale.
$1 billion scale, multiple billions. And so in summary here, I just had from this article here, I had a couple of these articles, grabbed the summary. So the future of real estate. So with increased scrutiny, it brings a lot of this stuff, AI-driven home searches, instant mortgage approvals, blockchain-powered transactions are becoming reality. Over-consolidation could lead to fewer choices, like we talked, rising costs, and diminished competition. External disruptors like interest rates, regulatory policies could shift the market dynamics overnight. So agents, listen up here. The clock is ticking. Agents have 18 to 24 months to solidify their place in their market before they risk being left behind. The industry stands at a crossroads, so adapt and innovate or be forced into change by external forces. So
that's exactly, when you were talking about that, I literally pictured like a snowplow with a V, and it was just like scooping the agents and pushing them towards whatever force is pushing us, because we don't have control in it.
Yeah.
We don't. That's what's so bad about AI is like, it's coming for all of us.
Yeah, it's coming. So the final thought, these billion-dollar deals aren't just headlines. They're reshaping the industry. Are you ready for what's next?
No.
Are you guys ready?
I
want to go back to 1954.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You want to be one of them old-timer agents then already?
I don't know.
So the good old days, apparently.
I still wear a blazer, so I guess so.
Right. So I don't know, what we can do about any of it. Like, Sarah, you got a great attitude with that. I mean, you just figured out. I mean, you just roll with the punches.
Like how it was with all the
everything else,
buyer's agency and everything. The past 365 have not been, like, comfortable as an agent. Just keep rolling with the punches.
But I think just that one inspirational thing in our Slack channel then, too. This is one of those, like, if you're willing to do the things that are hard that nobody else is doing, I mean, you're going to be successful.
Be
I mean, you will, because this industry seems hard to me every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, this has changed, that's changed. I know we keep talking about it, and I'm sure you guys feel the same pressure, but if we feel it, everybody in this industry feels it.
Right.
And a lot of them aren't as flexible or adaptable or receptive as what we are, the full-time agents that are trying to do it. So I guess I pat ourselves on the back that we're still here. Like you said, the last year hasn't been easy, but it's been, and it doesn't sound like it's getting any easier with all these changes.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just, what's the forces that are with us? It's like,
right.
How do you see that crystal ball? How do you stay ahead of it?
Sure. So how do we survive as an agent? And then how do the individuals, how do our clients, what's best for them? Are these big monster companies the right choice? They even said, it's going to reduce choices, reduce options. I don't think that's a good, more choices is a better thing. So, which can, more competition, but we're here for it. All right, cool. What else we got? Anything? That's enough, probably.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up there. All right, that is episode 28. Make sure you check back, do all the things, like, share, give us some questions, comments. We'd like to hear from you. But until then, we will see you on the next episode. Thanks for stopping by.